College was the vacation before your real life starts. UCla. I'm 24 years old. It's officially been 2 years since I've graduated college. My alma mater, UCLA. So I thought it was time that I do this video. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions. You can follow me at Amy_Lee if you want to be featured in one of my AM with Amy's. A huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. If you don't know what BetterHelp is an online therapy subscription service with the mission to help people facing life's greatest challenges with easy, discreet, affordable, and convenient access to licensed and trained therapists. They're LGBTQ friendly, that you can do couples therapy. All you have to do is sign up at betterhelp.com/Amy, fill out a questionnaire, and they will match you to the perfect therapist for you. And if you don't like your therapist, you can just request for a new one. I've changed it once personally. You get 1 weekly video or phone call with your therapist, and you get unlimited access via text, through your phone, tablet, computer, whatever it might be. Personally, life after college was a huge transitional period in which I struggled a lot, and honestly, having someone to talk to, a professional, would have helped a lot. So thank you so much to BetterHelp for partnering with me on this video. And without further ado, let's get into your questions. Something I got asked a lot about was about financial stability, how to budget. So Hannah ET asked, how did you manage financial balance after college? And Roseanne asked, how and where do you start saving for the future, Roth IRA, 401k, etc.? So first off, I think it's just a mentality shift, understanding that you can have so much information out there, you just need to go out and find it instead of asking a YouTuber. I think so much of our generation focuses on finding information, but information on very select things. So for example, instead of typing in that question to me, you could easily type that into Google. But with that being said, I still have some answers for you. Right after I graduated college, I started looking up financial gurus or financial advisors. And one of my favorites is Dave Ramsey. Politically, I feel like we don't align, but he has some amazing, helpful financial tips. And after I graduated, I listened to his show on a day-to-day basis. I have one of his books, Dave Ramsey, Total Money Makeover. Here, let me go get it. I read this probably in 2 days, and honestly, this is a good jumping board for those of you who are diving into finance. I also have Rich Dad Poor Dad over there by Robert Kiyosaki, who is also a controversial figure in my opinion, but reading these books really helped me dive into financial stability and independence. I also love Optimal Finance Daily, which is a good podcast. Honestly, Google is your best friend when it comes to finance. For me personally, I do not budget. I just learned to have this consistent mentality in my life after college to understand what I think is worth it and what is not. For example, when you go to Wingstop, I think the ranch is an extra $1, or when you go to an ATM, they charge you like a $3 fee. Those are two things that I will opt out of and I will never ever pay the money for. Other things like maybe a $5 coffee, yes, I'll sometimes get that, but that is because I choose not to get that $1 ranch or use that $3 ATM fee. Some things I will not spend my money on at all, and it seems like I'm really frugal, but I would rather have an $100 to spend on a quality dress than $101 ranches. I think that is the game of balances in my head, and I think after college you really have to understand where you want to allocate your funds, and you can totally have that $5 coffee as long as you pull out from a different area in your life. I don't believe in having it all. It's all about allocation. Another blog that I really love is Mr. Money Mustache. There are so many resources online. All you have to do is go out and find them. Instead of Googling why Ariana Grande broke up with Pete Davidson, start Googling how you can start saving for retirement. It is the exact same thing. It is the exact same type of research that you are doing, but helping your future. Yasmin Yunus asks, did you experience post-grad depression? Just graduated in May and I'm still struggling with it. Yes, girl. So I don't want to say depressed because I don't want to use that word lightly, but I heavily struggled with anxiety and stress right after graduation. I think I was grinding my teeth. I was shouting in my sleep. I was consistently worried about my future and how I was going to make money. As a lot of you know, I decided to just go straight into doing YouTube full time. And honestly, my numbers and my engagement were pretty much the same, except for my mentality. I didn't believe in myself. I just felt so scared, and I literally had no confidence in what I was doing. I felt so clueless, and I think honestly this is probably the most common feeling you'll ever get. The thing that that really comforted me, and the thing that consistently comforts me to this day, is knowing that even the most successful people, even the people who seem like they have the most of their shit together, they have no idea what they're doing. They're just simply winging it. Yes, people are winging it less than others, but for the most part, there's no blueprint on life and how to succeed, because no one is born with the same two hands, no one's born with the same set of eyes. It's just everyone is winging it, and even your mom, even Oprah, even Steve Jobs, they were just figuring it out as they went along. And whether or not you figure it out is all up to you. There's this really great quote that really encapsulates how I feel about post-grad depression and anxiety. And it says, whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life. If you continue to believe as you have always believed, you will continue to act as you have always acted. If you continue to act as you have always acted, you will continue to get what you have always gotten. If you want different results in your life or your work, all you have to do is change your mind. Anonymous said that. Honestly, my subscribers and my engagement were pretty much the same as I do now, but in the past 2 years, my income, where I live, my network, everything has changed drastically, and it is all because of what changed up here. I have less anxiety, I believe in myself, and I've released victimhood. It is all up here. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but you will start to believe in yourself, you will start to get the hang of it, and all of what is going on up here will slowly change. Kinga Karazias, the biggest myth about life after college, and Fajola Hamza asks, does it finally feel like you have your shit together after you graduate? Honestly, the biggest myth that you have after college is that life gets easier, you become more prepared, you suddenly become an adult, and all of the things will fall into place. If anything, college was the vacation before your real life starts. College is paradise. I know in that space and in that realm of turning in assignments, there is literally a rubric which you need to follow to succeed. In life, there is no rubric. There is no teacher telling you to submit your assignments. There is nothing. You are the creator of your own life, and that used to scare me shitless. I will be honest with you. I used to think that as soon as I graduated, I would work out, I would eat really healthy, I would have my life together, and some days I have those days, but most of the time I'm probably more stressed understanding that there is so much more riding on the line than just simply a grade. And so I think that's the biggest myth for me. Marie asks how to figure out what you want to do when you graduate. I know a lot of people put so much pressure on 20-something-year-olds to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life in those small 4 years of life that you spend in an institution, but what I will say is process of elimination. So what they taught you in SAT school or whatever, it is understanding what you don't like to find out what you do like. So I originally went to school thinking I would either become a journalist or a marketing person, so I did communications. I did 4 years of tutoring, which I fucking hated, but I was good at it. I became a writer, which I kind of liked but didn't really. Then I became an editor at the paper, which I fucking hated again. I did a marketing internship at a small music publication, and I realized that I hated all of those things, and what I really loved to do was create content. My advice to you is honestly to do the most in college. Do everything you've ever wanted or even had slight interest in doing. I know time is such a commodity in life, and it sounds scary to spend 5 years of your life after college not knowing what you want to do, but I honestly think that taking that small amount of time to figure out what it is you want to do and then spending the rest of your life doing that is much better than going straight out of college doing something you fucking hate for years and years and years on end, and then being 50 and then having to change trajectory. Mon Choi says, I have an interview for a job that I'm not excited for. I know it's definitely the safe and comfortable route that my parents want me to follow. How does one pursue his or her dream life? I am 100% for pursuing your passions, but in a practical, logical way. I think that whatever you are passionate about, I truly 100% believe that you will do it no matter what is going on in your life. And I feel like all throughout college, I always did YouTube because it was a passion project. I didn't care if I was getting recognition or accolades from it, because I just wanted to have an outlet. And I truly believe that you will do whatever you love to do at any means. And so I believe in doing your side hustle until it becomes your main hustle. There's so much risk in quitting your 9-to-5 or your main hustle to do your side hustle. And so I feel like to be really grounded and practical, you need to do both at the same time. And if you really love what you do, you will do both. And if you are lucky and fortunate and work hard enough, you will be able to do your side hustle as your main hustle. I think the greatest entrepreneurs were always doing something else along with their main corporate job until they were able to quit. And I think a good time to quit is when both of your finances kind of balance out. If you can't do both at the same time, I really want to ask you, is that really your passion? Do you really love it? Basically, Iman, hang in there, do what you gotta do, and your dream life will come. Ron Howardell asked, what was the most surprisingly helpful piece of what you learned, and did it come before or after college? This is the secret to any success I have in life, and this is the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Do not think of how others can benefit you. Think about how you can benefit the lives of others, and your life will be changed. And I was actually reading an article from the SoulCycle CEO and founder on Time Magazine, and I actually screenshot it and I put it on my words story highlights on my Instagram page. But by the way, you should go to my Instagram page for like inspiration, whatever quotes. Anyways, it says, don't think about what you want, think about what you can contribute to everyone regardless of their title, and invest in others every day. Someone's success does not take away from your success. There is so much to go around. I think some of you might know that about a year ago, I actually was assisting Jen Im, who's one of my closest friends, and that literally just came from a place of how can I help her, because I got dinner with her as a friend and I knew she was struggling and I just wanted to help her. I genuinely wanted to help her, and through that we have blossomed into an amazing relationship, and that truly came from the idea of what can I give to her and not what she can give to me, because obviously Jen is a huge star on the internet, but I think she knows I genuinely just wanted to help her, and we have gotten so much from that relationship. Asterito asks, it is so easy to fall into a nihilistic loss mindset without distinct structure day by day. How do you balance having free time with work and well-being, but also doing things for the soul? I think balance, I know a lot of people talk about balance, but very few people have mastered the art of balance. And I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I don't have any balance in my life. I feel like there are weeks where I eat like trash and I'm overworking myself like a horse. Other weeks I meditate, I eat kale, and I do yoga. Everything comes in seasons, and I think you can have it all, just not all at once. So I just think that moderation and balance are two overrated concepts, and if you struggle, know that everybody struggles just like you. But the fact that you even asked me that question already allows me to know that you are doing better than most people, because you are self-aware of your nihilistic thinking, of your negative thoughts. Don't be so hard on yourself. Even moderation in moderation. Bunny Moon asks, what is your best advice to someone getting ready to move out? Learn how to cook. So much of your day-to-day life will be on how to feed yourself, what you will eat, how to save money. So learning how to cook will just holistically improve your life. Even if you're cooking trash, unhealthy food like fried chicken, at least you know what's going in it, what ingredients you're using. You're not processing any of the items like McDonald's would, and you're gonna save so much money. So I actually spent the summer before moving out into college having my mom just cook all of my favorite Korean dishes, and I literally wrote down in a notebook exactly step by step how to make these dishes, and I just learned how to cook. And there's so many resources, for example, online. I love Mangji. I used to love Laura Vitale, but it's very unhealthy. So learn how to cook, because you'll save money, you'll eat healthier. That one stress will alleviate so many other parts of your life, and I love to cook. Lucy the girl asked, does your degree have a huge impact on what your career is in? I didn't really apply anything that I learned in school to do this job, and I feel like unless you are doing a hard science or pursuing the medical field or law, your major really doesn't have a huge impact on what you do. It's honestly about who you know and your experience. So I would rack up that experience, learn from people, get internships, and from your internships, network with people. Jenny Monaco asks, are you stuck with student student loans too, saw face, love ya. I love you too. So fortunately for me, I was on financial aid and my mother helped me with the rest of the tuition. And I'm so grateful for that. Honestly, if I had loans, I would have stayed at home in my parents' house, commuted, paid off all the debt, because debt is the #1 thing that holds you back in life, and interest accrues. You do not want that. It just follows you wherever you go in life, and that's something that I learned from Dave Ramsey, Robert Kiyosaki, and all my findings is debt sets you back in life further than you can even think. And I would highly suggest that you just rough it out for a couple years, and then you can live a free, truly independent life and not be shackled by the debt that is accruing. Okay. Gas Break Diab asked, did you ever feel you couldn't compete for jobs because many people went to the same school and were just as smart as you? And how has UCLA changed you? No. To answer your first question, no. I have learned to detach from the idea of comparison. I have said this before, but nobody was born with the same life as you, the same resources as you, the same 2 hands as you. And so comparing yourself to other people is just useless and futile and non-productive thinking. I am on the eternal pursuit of becoming a better person holistically, whether that means in my work life, in my personal life, in my spiritual life. I am always on the pursuit of becoming a better person. And as cliche and as trite as it sounds, as long as you are better than you were 5 minutes ago, a day ago, last year, you are doing amazing, sweetie. Instead of thinking, oh, why is this person more successful than me? Or why is this person smarter than me? I think, how can I be as smart as so-and-so? How can I be just as successful as da-da-da? And then I work from that. Going to UCLA changed my life completely. I feel like I am much more of a talkative, social, outgoing person because UCLA is such a Greek-heavy party lifestyle school. I don't know. That I feel like just made me a more intellectual and more disciplined human being. And I learned how to just excel in a rigid academic institution like UCLA, which honestly I think says a lot about, there's a lot to be said about the college or university experience. Go Ash asks, I miss learning new things / don't want my brain to rot. How do you work on that? So personally, the biggest fear I have is letting my brain go to waste. And I think my favorite thing about graduating college is now that I get to be the one that sets my own curriculum. There are books and resources, and I feel like with this new age of technology, we have so many resources that a lot of us become complacent. But for me, there's so much power in Google and technology. If you have a question, Google it. Ask Siri. There'll be days where I'm like, okay, Google, how do planes fly in the sky?
Okay, I found this on the web for how do planes fly in the sky.
The plane's engines are designed to move it forward at high speed. That makes air flow rapidly over the wings, which throw the air down toward the ground, generating an upward force called lift.
Stop. Something that really moved me was Elon Musk went to school for computer science engineering, but as you guys know, he is the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, and people asked him, like, how did you learn about rockets and aerospace engineering? And he attributes everything. He just says, I read books, and books are the best way you can learn, because I guarantee you there's a book on everything you want to learn. You just need to go out and find it. A large number of you guys asked about friends and how to keep in touch and how to make new friends and how to stay with the same people, and if I keep in touch with the same people. So I have a few friends. I have a handful of friends from college that I do still talk to, but I noticed as I just grow more into my adult life, I don't see them as much, and that is just purely for one reason only. It's just our lifestyles are completely different. Many of them are in conventional corporate jobs, and as an influencer, I am not usually free on weekends. I could be working on weekends, and they're only free on weekends. And while that can be a sad thing, I think that just means that now that you are not just taking anthropology with Jenny and subsequently have to be friends with Jenny because she's in the same anthropology class, you now get to pick and choose very carefully who you surround yourself with and who you get to love and be loved by. And I think that is the most empowering and awesome thing about growing as an adult. Being around like-minded people is probably the best thing you can do for yourself as an adult. With that being said, I'm someone who doesn't believe that physical distance will ever stop me from loving somebody. If you live in Croatia, I will somehow find a flight to Croatia and be there just to spend time with you. You make time for the people you make time for, and I think it's cool that now you're not just stuck with someone because you're in the same classroom as them. My biggest piece of advice for making new friends as an adult is not finding how you can be interesting to others and how you can be cool or funny or smart to others, but seeing how you can take interest in others. You will make a lot more friends by taking interest in them rather than figuring out how you can be cool or funny or smart. I am Karen O. Hey Karen asks, do you still have a structured routine like you did in college? If so, how do you maintain it? I'm sure, Karen, you know that as influencers, just by career and profession, our lives are completely spontaneous and no day is ever like the last. And so for me, I find that having routine in some parts of my life definitely gives me just peace and balance. I have a planner where I plan pretty much everything, and I rigorously use my ucla because I would die without it. So I think a lot of it has to do with preparation and planning, and if you're not writing things down, you will have no structure in your life. For me, maintaining a routine is not necessarily just having a full-blown routine the day of. I think it's just minimizing what you want less of in your life. So for example, if you want a routine where you don't use your phone before you go to sleep, you can't just do it cold turkey. I would suggest, if you take an hour on your phone before you go to sleep, minimize it to 30 minutes, then eventually to 15 minutes, then eventually 5 minutes, and then eventually just get rid of it. And if you don't work out at all, but you want that in your routine, do it slowly. I did a class once a week, and then I slowly moved to 2 classes. Then I slowly moved to 3 classes, and at one point I was doing 5 classes with Jen at Barry's, and now I just do 3 days of independent working out. And everything, I think that gradual process took over a year to figure out, and I think it takes 28 days to start a new habit. But honestly, you have to be more realistic with that. If you want routine, take it a day at a time. It will take years to figure it all out, but what are those years in comparison to a lifetime of unstructured, unbalanced habits? Does that make sense? I'm gonna end the Q&A with this last one. Commanda asks, do you think high school senior Amy would be proud of where you are today? Honestly, I think she would be like, what, bitch? Where are we? How? I think she would be really confused and really stoked for what's to come. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button if you like this, and be sure to watch the rest of my AM with Amy's. I'm gonna have a playlist at the end of this video, and give this video a like if you liked it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! Yeah! If
you were everything I wanted you to be, when I saw